Hello, welcome to another episode of Rise Women's Network. I have a special show today. I am Queen of Smothers. Thank you for joining me today. I wanted to kind of take a break from the Chicago series and bring you something that we're going to be doing. It's going to be on mental health and drug addiction. Um, I have a co host, and we're going to be doing reviews, movie reviews. This is what we initially decided we would do. Her name is Mocha Sistah, and she's a very dear friend of mine. And we go back years, years, years. And she was on my first Chicago series. I featured her. She's an author, she has her own publishing company. Brown Girl Expressions, and we're going to talk about mental health and drug addiction. And without further ado, I'm going to bring on my co-host, Pam Osby, known as Mocha Sister.
Good evening, everyone. How you doing?
Hello.
I'm with the glow light here. I'm with the glow light, y'all.
She's glowing. Hi, Pam, Mocha Sister. I wanted to check on you. That was the main thing. I didn't want to just use your services.
Right.
When I called you, I said, let me check on her because you had that going on up there on the East Coast with Hurricane Ida, and I said, let me check on my girl and see how she's doing. So how is everything there now?
Right now, they finally added our county to the federal funds. You know, when they do the disaster or state of emergency
Mm-hmm.
in New Jersey, they only did a few counties, and they didn't count our county, which is crazy because our county have people displaced, people lost their homes. A lot of people that live in basement apartments, which I know a lot about, but fortunately for me, I'm up in the rise. But
Okay.
um, there was a a Section 8 building that got flooded out, and 600 people had to be evacuated. They have displaced. Basically, they have to give housing vouchers to all of these individuals. And we lost 4 people that got flooded out of their homes, and they died. And then we have 27 to 30 people all over the state that actually died from this storm. So it was a very dangerous storm. I was lucky I was without power, but I didn't have no flooding.
Mhm.
You know, I was
Yeah.
very blessed. I would say that
Amen.
because
Mhm.
yeah, this state got hit hard, and we had more deaths
Wow.
here than they have had in New Orleans. New Orleans had
Wow.
some casualties, but we had higher number here. We
Yeah, it
just
seemed like
they just wasn't ready for it.
right. It like did a whole turn, they said. It went from New Orleans and it
It
came
came
to
here. And
yeah, very
there are
good.
like 3 main rivers in New Jersey, and they
Mhm.
all converge in central
Mhm.
New Jersey. I'm in
Mhm.
North New Jersey, and it's a lot of counties right by, and it's just a hot mess. So a lot of people lost their homes in that region as well. They finally added a couple more counties, and the hurricane season ain't over yet. We've been getting hit hard
Right.
since spring, but this was
Mhm.
crazy. July, we had a tornado, and they said in this
Mhm.
hurricane slash tornado storm, we
Mhm.
had 3 tornadoes here. They had 4 in Philly. So in the
Right.
area, in the tri-state area, we had 7 tornadoes.
It hit 5 coasts, didn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
It hit 8 states. Like, you got New Jersey, Philly, you got Delaware, Connecticut, Maryland,
Mhm.
Massachusetts. I can't remember. It's like a bunch of
Mhm.
states that all got sucked into this.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that you're okay, and that's the main thing,
Yeah.
that we
Thanks for
say,
checking on me,
you
because if
know,
I've been row the boat by myself over here, because
I know that's right, girl. And I said, let me check
I
on
just
you. You
packed my
said
stuff
your
to
lights
go
were
back to the
out.
Midwest.
Yeah, and that's scary because my lights were out about a month or and a half ago, and it was for like about 4 hours, and that was the longest 4 hours. So,
It's a
I know
long
you said
time because you're
yours is
like, is
out.
it coming back on? Because I went to, I
Oh,
think we got hit at 7 at night, and then 2 hours
mhm.
later it was lights out, and it
Right.
didn't come on until 7 a.m. the next day, and stuff was melting, and I was like, oh my god.
I know because I had to throw away some food. I'm like, I want my money back for my phone. I'm like, well, it's a natural thing.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, throw away the eggs and stuff like that. But I'm
yeah.
glad you're
Fortunately for me,
okay.
I didn't have stuff like that. Just like had like ice cream and some
Mhm.
veggies, produce in the refrigerator. So
Yeah, because you're on your
yeah,
veggie kick, which
yeah.
is good.
I'm a
Yeah,
flexi vegetarian.
right, flexible. Well, this is one reason why I wanted to do the show because with the natural disasters, with the pandemic, and then it looks like we may be going into another lockdown. So I don't want to say, but it's kind of looking that way. And with that comes the mental health becomes the issue, and
Yeah,
that's the main reason that I want to do this. We talk about a lot of subjects. We have fun. We have the music with the Chicago series, but this is such a serious issue that we need to touch bases on. We have to protect our mental health, and it goes back. Well, first of all, I'm going to read a couple of articles on Michael K. Williams, a little bit on Naomi Osaka, who is a tennis player who was actually going through some mental health issues also, and Simone Biles. But first of all, the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. So, nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So, the article that I'm going to read, because, I kind of got a little angry a couple of weeks ago when uh okay, when Sha'Carri Richardson, when she didn't win her 100-meter, and then she came back and tried to do another race and she didn't win that. And I was looking at some YouTube videos and they were just really dumping on her, and I'm like, why do we do that to our young people? Like Naomi Osaka, she's 23 years old. Shakari is 20, I think 22, and we have to allow people that time to learn themselves, to be imperfect. We live in a society where we seem like we want people to be perfect as athletes, and they're human beings.
well, what were
But
these people doing? These bloggers, vloggers, what were they doing at 22, 23? Were they out there doing this? Because I remember when I was 22, 23, I was making a lot of mistakes. The only difference is
Mhm.
no social media to capture everything. And also,
Thank
I'm
you.
not a famous celebrity, so nobody cared. And I wasn't telling people what mistakes I was making. I made
Thank
them.
you.
They happened in silence, off in real time, not
Mhm.
on social
Mhm.
media. Social media
Exactly.
has made a lot of people commentators and cyber journalists.
Right. Armchair therapists and reviewers, and these people, these young people, they have the public view. Instead of you have 5 or 10 news cycles back in the 70s and 80s, you got thousands of news cycles, and social media critics, looking at their every move, where they go when they get off the airplane. I mean, I saw a video of Simone Biles when she came back to the US from the Olympics, and everybody rushed toward her, and they was like, trying to congratulate her, and she looked like she was like taken aback, and it's like, some people are private, and you
She
can't.
also don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, 1 minute y'all talking about me, and now everybody like, oh, I want to see you. Like we flip flop too much. She probably was shocked that anybody was there to greet her. And secondly, you
yes,
don't
she
know how to
really.
accept people because one day you love me, the next day you hate me. So it's like,
There you
you
go,
know, yeah.
girl. You said it. You hit it right on the nail. It's like a love-hate relationship with athletes and entertainers.
Right.
People get on and they talk about them. Oh, look at Beyonce, look at Jay-Z. They're doing this, they're doing that, and these people are human beings. Of course, they
Also,
have
they're
talent.
still a little past adolescent. They're young
Hmm.
adult women.
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
have not, they're not fully where we are. Again, they're in their
Hmm.
early 20s. But because
Yeah.
they are in the public eye and make so much money, people just equate to, well, you should be worried about making your money, and that money doesn't cover my pain. That money does not cover my
Hmm.
mental status. If we look at, and we'll
Right.
talk about Michael K, money
It's,
does not cover
hmm.
my wounds, my emotional trauma.
Hmm.
So, what
Hmm.
part of that we don't get in this society, I don't know, but it seems like we
Hmm.
think that money equates perfection. And if there's
Right.
money in the picture, then we should just be happy and,
Hmm.
just ignore things. So,
Yeah, and like you said earlier, people have a past. Two of these people, out of the three people we're going to talk about, two of these people had been molested as kids, and Michael K. Williams he was like looking at him on the Breakfast Club in 2016, and he talked about it briefly. He didn't want to go
mhm,
into detail.
right,
See, there's a lot of pain, and people forget that drugs are a symptom of the problem. It's not the problem, it is a symptom of a deeper problem.
right,
And covering over and trying to forget. And Simone Biles, she got molested by her trainer, and which is why she started her own. She has like on her where she lives, she has a separate gym room for the girls that come and practice safely, so
good.
they have a safe environment. So yeah, wow, it's like we must raise our village and advocate for our young people and not dump on them. And then, like you had said, we were talking on the phone, we were talking about looking in people's eyes and you can see the pain.
Hmm.
Michael K., you could look at some of his pictures, even with Simone Biles, look at their eyes. And my mother used to say this all the time, look at people's eyes and pictures. That's where you see, the smile can be like a cover up, but you'll see the
It can be a
sadness.
cover up, definitely. And
Yeah.
you're right about the eyes, because the eyes are the windows to the soul. Um,
Yes, I used to always say that growing up.
that's what people say. And I went back and looked at some of his pictures, and you can see that smile,
Mhm.
that iconic smile, but the smile
Yeah.
doesn't connect with the eyes. It's like two different things. Like, if you're in
Mm.
his position and you have to go to these press junkets to promote a new
Mhm.
movie or something that you are part of, you have to go and
Mhm.
smile. But
Right.
at times the eye is not jiving. It's not a balance between the eye and the grin.
Exactly. And
So
for
yeah.
people who don't know, Michael K. Williams was an Emmy-nominated actor and producer. One of this is from Amazon. One of this generation's most respected and acclaimed talents. He brought audience charisma to characters to life. Life characters. He's best known for his remarkable work on The Wire, the hidden wit and humor that Williams brought to Omar, the whistle happy profanity, adverse drug dealing, robbing stick up man earned him high praise and made Omar one of television's most memorable characters. He also played Chalky White in Boardwalk Empire, which is a 1920s bootlegger. And he was suited for mayor of Atlantic City's African American community. He played a mayor. In 2012, Boardwalk Empire won him a Screen Actors Guild Award for outstanding performance. He won also for support outstanding supporting actor in the HBO movie Bessie.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
wow, which I didn't know that I haven't seen Bessie,
Bessie was
but
good too. Yeah, that was good.
wow. And then also he was a backup dancer and choreographer. I don't know if you know this man, but
Madonna, right?
Madonna, George
Mhm.
Michael's, and for Crystal Waters' 100% Love. You know, back to the rhythm and back again. You know, I got
He
right to the end.
loved to
100%.
dance. He loved to dance.
Yes, he's in
Yeah.
that video, and all the accolades, all the history that he has, but he had a lot of pain, you know. Can you talk about like you dealt with people in because you were a counselor in New York, of all places, Queens, really
Yeah, I
it's
was
one of the roughest
all
cities.
over Queens and Bronx, and I had clients in Brooklyn. Those were three boroughs that I worked in. So
Mhm,
my work was with under the umbrella of HB, uh, home-based community services. Home-based community services provides vocational
mhm,
services and also peer services. So, like if
mhm,
you have a substance abuse issue, you have a peer counselor, and then you have a
mhm,
person like me. So, the peer
mhm,
counselor help you work on your mental health condition and get you resources and support. And I help you go back to school,
mhm,
create a learning plan, an educational plan, or help you figure out your path to
mhm,
employment. Do you want to go back to school?
mhm,
That type of stuff. So, but it always, a lot of my clients, and when I say a lot, more than 50% of my caseload,
mhm,
PTSD, ADHD, individuals with psychosis issues and substance abuse issues and trauma issues, all of
mhm,
that.
mhm,
So,
mhm,
um, a lot of people use a lot of things to deal with the
mhm,
silence of
mhm,
the pain that they endured
mhm,
either in their childhood, their teenage years, and then it travels with them to adulthood. And so in
mhm,
society, we have the go along to get along gang. We supposed
mhm,
to just shut up and smile
mhm,
and act like it didn't happen. We're supposed to just use religion or some other thing in society to act like, ooh, pray through it. It's
mhm,
over. Put a
mhm.
patch on it. That's just not how it works. You
No.
can pray through it. Or you could use substances to make you forget about these situations, especially when you haven't been able to process it. Um,
Mhm.
People can go for treatment if they want to, but a lot of times people just going to do what is comfortable to them, and
Mhm.
maybe they have whatever reason they don't want to go to a doctor, they don't want to go to therapy. Let me give me a
And
week.
sometimes,
Let me get something in my system so I can
mhm.
forget about it for a minute. And that's my way to cope.
Right. And I can, this subject I could really speak on because I had a battle. And I remember, because I'm a thespian like Michael K. I was an actress in high school, and it was fun. And then all of a sudden we went from acting to having like a little party for us. And then I saw people using and sniffing and smoking. Then, I got curious, and that started really an addiction. And I always
Mhm.
say this, my kids saved my life. I had a set of twin boys. I was pregnant, and at that point, I decided, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. So
Mm.
this is such a sensitive subject to me, because people, they say, oh, well, you shouldn't use if you know you're going to hurt yourself or hurt your kids or whatever. But some people, when the drugs will desensitize you, where you don't
Yeah.
care. You don't care if you die. That's why, it's really hard. It's a horrible disease. Addiction and alcoholism is one of the hardest things to cure. Of course, cigarettes, of course, nicotine is hard, but then there's all type of addictions, with eating, but the drugs, and you can hide from that. You can lie just so long and dodge the bullet, but then
Hmm.
you get to that point where you have to say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Absolutely. I commend you for even sharing, because I know a lot of times it can be very difficult to share. And then when you are seeing stories of celebrities or hear stories of your friends, you might go back to that dark place, like,
Mhm.
and and it's commendable to move forward by kind of sharing your truth to help others to think about what path they want to take too. It's all about trying to
Mhm.
empower individuals. I know how you are. You are about empowering
Mhm.
with individuals. So
Mhm.
much love to that. And anyone that's
Mhm.
listening, you know, you are not your addiction. Like, that's just a behavior that's attached to you, but you are
Mhm.
still a person. And I
Mhm.
think in society, people have taken away the humanity of a person because of the
Mhm.
behavior that causes
Mhm.
them to go in a certain direction with
Mhm.
an addiction, whether it's drug addiction, food addiction, some other
Yeah.
addiction.
And it's usually to cover up something else. For instance, Michael K. They say, he said touched on that he had been molested, and then he went on talking about something else, and he went right from that to, the bar fight that he had, which is how he got the scar. He said that, he was just talking too much and got into it, and then he went from that to being in videos, choreographer, and then acting, and you do all these things and you think that it's behind you. But if you don't address the addiction, it comes right back. So
Yeah.
when he was in between episodes of The Wire, like season 2 episode and season 3, he said
Hmm.
that's when he started back using. He had to go back to the baby mama and live with her, and she kind of took care of him until season 3. Because the thing about with and this is he said this is not allegedly, with these episodes, is sometimes the actor only gets paid for that episode. They
Yeah,
don't
that's the
get paid.
thing.
They
Yeah.
don't get
You're not
residual.
you're not on there every week or whatever, then you're
Hmm.
not getting paid a flat rate
Hmm.
for that. You're getting paid per episode. And at that time they didn't know if he was gonna blow up. They didn't know anything. They said, look, we're gonna bring this guy in
Hmm.
and do this, and we're gonna pay you as we go. You getting paid as you go. It's like being a temp. You're an
Right.
actual temp. You're like, okay, I'm on set for this day.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
tomorrow I got no money coming in. So you know what? I
Right.
might have to go back and do some thuggish rugged something.
Rent is still due,
Right.
bills are still due. And if you got a habit, you definitely out of it. So that's why he said he went back into it. And then season 3, he was okay. So when you're busy, sometimes that does kind of help where you don't get back into that life. But it seems to be like him, DMX, um, a couple other people, the street life always seems to call you back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you have to be strong enough and say, I'm sick and tired. Like I said, being sick and tired, surround yourself with positive people, go to Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholic Anonymous, whatever you need to do, because it is about saving your life. And and you have to reach out and have the sponsor and everything that you need to get from that lifestyle, you
Yeah.
know.
And for him, I wonder the emotional sacrifice of portraying Omar Little,
Mhm.
because Omar Little was based on a real stick up man. And
Right.
he's from what you call Baltimore,
Yeah.
and his name is what is his name? Donnie Andrews. He was a
Oh.
reformed stick up man. His life inspired the character that
Mhm.
and it's so strange is that
Oh.
this man died at the age of 58, and this man and it had a
Mhm.
book, autobiography he did with his wife about all the hellish things he went through during his addiction, out there being a stick up man.
Wow.
And just for our listeners to be aware, Michael K. Williams also did a series called Black Market on
Wow.
Showtime.
I heard
This
about that.
also, when I think about him going to interview people, talking about the very interesting life that they led by surviving and doing illegal activities.
Mm.
I don't know how much
Yeah.
are you re-entering for yourself? Because if you had some trauma related to you being out there on the streets, he was interviewing people that like sold lean, individuals that ran guns, and when he did these interviews, these individuals'
Mhm.
identity was covered, like they had like stuff over their face because they need their
Oh.
identity to be released.
Wow. And that's another thing. He was an activist. He was doing some great things.
Yeah,
He wanted to do police reform because he is from New York. He was down there dirty in the dumps and knew, the ins and outs. He was like, we need police reform. We need more social workers, to come in
yeah,
and
he was trying to advocate for
intervene.
that because he know
Yeah.
what it like how he interacted in the community and with law
Mhm.
enforcement, and maybe if he had some sort of assistance early on, I
Mhm.
guess. But it's just a sad loss because he's a very
Yeah.
talented man, and he's still. They said for the Black Market show,
Mhm.
Showtime says they have recordings for another season with
Really?
Michael K. Williams, and I was like, I wonder if they're
Mm.
going to release that. He also was in
Mm.
Lovecraft. I saw Lovecraft. I didn't finish the whole
Yeah.
series, but it's very good as well.
Yeah, I looked at the link that you sent for Lovecraft, and I was gonna read that because he said after filming that he had to. The late actor Michael K. Williams opened up about entering therapy to address his struggles with drug abuse. During one of his last interviews after filming HBO's Lovecraft Country, and this is from Entertainment. Let's see. New York Post by Brooke
Hmm. Yeah.
Golding. Yeah, so he had yeah, he said I just started therapy and really taking that seriously and start to unpack, like you said, the critic in my head and what and how that has affected my actions, my responses to certain situations, my relationships. It was
Mm.
a very new process for me. So he was, trying to address, like they say, the demons or whatever. He was trying to, get over the hump. And, it to me it's just kind of, I don't know. I ain't gonna say a conspiracy theorist, but I hope things are, I hate how he was found and stuff like that. But he was by himself. It's just sad. It's kind of like it brings your vibration down when you hear about people dying and stuff like that. And I think that's what's going on with the world is that our vibrations are keep going down on a low frequency because when people, it seems like one actor and famous person dies after another, then you go to social media and sometimes you're in a good mood and then you get back sad
You
again.
got to unpack and be off in social media sometime. I mean, we could do a whole show on that, but I mean, I think even for your mental health, because you get sucked into this rabbit hole and seeing
Mm-hmm.
the same thing post and posted. When I saw the information relating to he may have made, passing, I didn't say anything on my page because I'm on the East Coast, so we get
Mm-hmm.
stuff before you guys get stuff on the other part of the country, and I didn't say
Mhm.
anything for a while because I said I don't know, is this real?
Mm.
Because people always posting
Mhm.
stuff and saying
Yeah,
it's
you
real and
never
it's not
know.
real, right? But
Right.
I think that it's really good for people to just understand and know that it's okay if you have a mental health issue. This is a chemical imbalance, and I'm speaking as someone that is trained as a disability coordinator. I work
Mhm.
with individuals with disabilities that are
Mhm.
for a hospital system here on the East Coast. And you know mental illness can be triggered by a lot of different things. You can get attacked by somebody and get a mental health issue. You can be in a domestic violence relationship and you can experience brain trauma and get mental health issue. I want
Mhm.
to say nobody decides that they want mental illness. No one
Right.
makes it up because a lot of times people are always talking, but it's
Mhm.
very normal to have this. And
Right.
there are resources out there to go and talk to someone and get the support that
Mhm.
you need.
Yeah, there's the mental health and substance abuse national hotline number, helpline, 1-800-662-HELP 4357. So it's on the screen. But so for anybody, please seek the help you need. And that goes too with like you said, domestic violence, social, emotional abuse. You can
Right.
be abused emotionally. A person don't have to hit you or
They
even
don't have to
touch
hit
you.
you for you to be
You know.
feeling the punch, so to speak.
Right.
Emotionally, especially if you're dealing
Hmm.
with a narcissistic personality, somebody that's just emotionally tearing you down over and over again, that wears down on your soul too.
Yes, and then you can turn it in on yourself and then hurt yourself. So you do want to seek the help that you need, because of course we all have family members. Everybody has one or two family members that suffers from either mental abuse or health issues. Substance abuse, alcoholism, and that's why I titled this. When being silent actually hurts you.
It does.
You can't be silent about it. You gotta let somebody know because it's no joke, And with the pandemic, and stuff, people, it's a whole. We living in a whole new world, you can say, where we're not as touchy. We can't hug people. We don't visit people because we're afraid of catching, that, and being careful and so they say if you don't hug a baby, it doesn't grow properly. So for people that's seniors, you have your younger people, try to at least visit them, and because they're going through too. Seniors.
Everybody's going through it, especially if you're not used to staying, away from people.
Hmm.
Kids, they want to go out and socialize. Some people
Hmm.
okay with staying at home and they good. Some people
Hmm.
need to see people. Some people need to engage with other human
Hmm.
beings. Children, this has got to be hard, and this is really hard on anyone that has an addiction, anyone that has a mental health condition during the pandemic and being isolated.
Yeah,
They may
that's
start
right.
coping in a different manner.
Yes, going back. And this is, in fact, when bringing up coping, let's kind of talk about this, the fentanyl that they're finding. They're finding that
Whew.
they're lacing the blunts and whatever they're
They
smoking
lace it
now,
in with everything. And I was
what.
reading something earlier where I was like, wait a minute, let me see if I can find it. It said
Mhm.
that basically with mental and behavioral disorders, people are using psychoactive substances. So a psychotropic drug, which is
Mhm.
usually a class of drugs such as
Mhm.
opiates and heroin,
Mhm. Mhm.
are found in nicotine, is rolled over in tobacco products, like you said, pretty much people rolling it into products. And before Michael K's passing last weekend, two or three comedians in LA died
I didn't know
also
that.
using phenyl, whatever you call it. The drugs that they
Right.
used was cut with this. Whatever it
I
is
believe.
very dangerous.
Yeah, I believe that I believe some of this is intentional. I really do, because back in the day, when we smoked weed or whatever, some of us did, we didn't have that. It
You
was
you
none
know
of
they
this
got a
stuff.
different world now. They try they chasing a bigger high than my parents smoked regular weed.
Mhm,
I turned out okay, and we
mhm.
didn't have anything chaotic
Yeah,
happen. But we're in a different world now, and
yeah.
people chasing a higher high, and that's what I think. In terms of things being done intentional until it's reported and
Mhm,
confirmed by a medical provider. I don't know
mhm,
about that, but that's why I want to see of these cases,
mhm.
because right now I know with Michael K is an ongoing
It's the ongoing, yeah.
investigation, and
And
for
this is all
yeah,
also allegedly. We don't we weren't there, so we don't
yeah,
know.
we don't
This is
know, we
what the
don't know,
news source
we
is
don't know.
saying, that that he
It
was
says an
found and it
ongoing
was.
investigation, and they're
Mhm,
not even sure because
mhm,
even the salaciousness of the news, they'll be like, oh, this was found at this person's
mhm.
property. You don't know if somebody left that there from some other
Right.
situation and he just died. You don't know. So that's why the
Mhm.
investigation goes on.
And the
And
toxicology hasn't come back yet, so we
we
don't know
don't, yeah,
what's in his
exactly. We need to
blood. And
actually, is when you get that death certificate, that family gets the
mhm,
death certificate, then they will release it, because I know for sure I had a family member pass away, and when we got the actual thing back, they can go back years. They could go back years. Those
Mhm.
medical providers, they can say, oh, they can pinpoint when this person started and when how long
Mhm.
that drug was in that person's system, if that's the case, or whatever happened with their medical condition
Wow.
at the end, you know.
I
So,
didn't know that.
oh, we got somebody popping in. I see Emma. Hey, Emma, what's
Ah,
up?
hey, good evening, Queen Emma.
Oh, we got
Queen
one
Emma
person here.
says
Somebody might get a book here.
she's so. Oh, Emma's got it. You got a book from Pam from Mocha Sister, and she says, "Good evening, Mocha."
Hey, what's
I
up?
can always count on my sister for
Yeah.
coming in and
Yep,
supporting.
that's good stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
like you said, it was alleged. So
Allegedly, yeah. We
we
don't
gotta
know.
see what
I
what is
question
reported.
everything.
Mhm. But it's okay to question everything because honestly, the way things go in society, we don't know what's going on these days. So
Yeah, you really don't know. That's why it's important. And like we were saying, you don't know what you're getting. So for the younger people that are dipping and dabbling, like all of us, some of us, I won't say all, dipped and dabbed, when we were younger, be really careful out there because there's a lot of stuff going on that's just really questionable. You know, it's just be real safe. So we just wanted to just bring this to you guys and let you know that condolences to Michael K. Williams's family. He has a son. um
yes,
and yeah, it's
prayers
really
for the
hard.
family, prayers for that family, you
Yeah.
know, and that's why, as commentators, we're being as respectful as possible because that could be a family member of ours, and we wouldn't want somebody saying a bunch of stuff that we don't know is definitively true. But also
Right.
love and light to that family for blessing us with such a creative
Mhm.
spirit that
Yeah.
seemed to give to all kinds of people. He seemed to connect with the
Yeah.
lowest of persons, meaning any person. If we would have met him out, he would have chopped it
Mhm.
up with us. I have friends on my timeline that really, and they're just regular people that go to work and they just happen to run into him out and about. He took pictures with people, he hung out with people,
Mhm.
he shared himself with people. So, I know
Oh.
this is a hard thing for the family.
Yeah, and he's from well, he's not directly, but his family is from Sierra Leone. So that's why
Yeah,
you see
yeah.
that
He has
look,
DNA that goes back
his
there, and
yeah,
it's
his
another
mother.
actor. Him and an actor had a picture together. What is his name? I think it's Isaiah Washington. They both
Okay.
were traced their lineage to
Mm-hmm.
Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
So yeah, there's a video of him dancing, and like I say, I connect with people spiritually, when they pass for some reason. That's why I can't come right on and do a video because I'll be getting, words from them.
yeah,
And one thing he was saying, he was like, "I'm okay, baby girl." He told me that. Another thing, and I was like, "Michael, what happened? I just want to know what happened." He was like, "You don't want to know." So I'm gonna leave it just out there like that. We'll find out though. They'll find out, and I hope that his spirit is rested. And with Simone and Naomi Osaka, that they seek the mental help that they need because they're young girls. They don't have the appease to the world. They have the trophies. If it's not fun anymore, stop doing it. Because Naomi said that she said it's not fun to her anymore. She said that when she doesn't win, she feels sad, playing tennis when she
right.
doesn't win the opens. And when she does win, she feels relieved. So it's like,
It's so much expectation
yeah.
though. It's like to be
Mhm,
22, 23 years old
mhm,
and have everybody expect you to go out and win every game or bring the
mhm,
money or whatever. It's like,
mhm,
my goodness,
mhm.
oh, the s'mores fire pit party
Yeah.
sounds fun. That
Oh,
sounds fun.
as a matter of fact, Naomi, her daughter's name is Naomi with an I.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
yeah, she's
Awesome.
8 years old, And then she says, great subject to touch on prayers and condolences to MK Williams. That's right, sis.
Thank you.
Yeah, we definitely
Um,
wanted to, this is our way of paying homage to him and to the girls, and for the YouTubers who are getting on and trashing people, I see you and I'm speaking on you. Yeah. I'm letting you know it's not right. It's not right to tear down
it's
the young
easy. It's easy to
people,
tear somebody down
you
when they're
know.
not around to advocate for themselves and speak their truth. But
Mhm.
also, I don't know. We just in a society where people are cold and they only think about things through one lens.
Right.
So that's all. People just think through one lens.
Mhm.
Um, I think with both of
Mhm.
um, these athletes, Simone and
Mhm.
Naomi, I commend
Mhm.
them. When I was
Yes.
that age, I didn't have the clarity to speak up for myself like that. I ain't, I'm
Mhm.
doing what everybody else think I'm supposed to do.
Mhm.
These young ladies
Mhm.
are independent enough to say, I'm going to stand in my truth, and whether you like it or not,
Mhm.
and whether I make the money or not, if I have to take a
Mhm.
penalty or not, I'm going to
Mhm.
stand my truth, whether you like it
Yes.
or not. So go ahead and talk about me if you want to. And you
Mhm.
know what? Both of them have probably made more money at that age than I would have made at that age. That's for sure. With the
Yes.
endorsements and all that, you have to say
Mhm.
self care over a check at sometimes. Most people don't think that way. Most people think money can solve
Mhm.
every problem, but that is not true.
Exactly. I mean, you can only be so happy with money. I've had a not bank full of money, but I've had money and just not happy. It just depends on where you are mentally, and you have to reach out, have a prayer life and get outside yourself. Like when I gave away that gift bag, give away things like you're giving away your books, from your Brown Girl expressions, that really makes you feel good. It really does. And thank you, Pam, for creating. You're creating, and for young girls. And Emma, I'm gonna get a coloring book for Naomi. Pam, show her one of the books that you have. Isn't that cute, Emma? Pam created a coloring book for young girls, and she can write in it. So we're gonna get one to Naomi. Her nickname is Nike.
Nike. And then I'm gonna
And
send Emma. I'm gonna send her this book. It's called what is it called? Keeping the Faith. This book is kind of a book that has multiple women in it. I'm like an old picture of me on there,
okay,
but and I'll send you one as well. I just got to get to the
okay.
post office. I'll send both of you guys this book. It's a good book because it really talks about the different stories of faith and of women. Oh, I see another person down there, Michelle, that
Yeah.
encourages. Okay,
Michelle.
ma'am.
Hey, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
Michelle, thank you for joining us. Michelle she sells paparazzi jewelry. She is a very good friend of mine from Las Vegas that, man, I met her and we did a conference together. And I appreciate you coming to support us, Michelle. She said, glad I made it.
So after the show,
She's a
just let
sweetheart.
Michelle. Well, I don't know which book she wants. If she wants one of these
Yeah.
books that I have left.
She
Um,
said, oh, love it. She loves to color and draw. Good vibes.
Good.
Yeah, Pam, I keep calling you Pam, but Mocha Sister is so talented. I'm so grateful for you. That creativity that you have, that's what keeps us all going, and like I
It's
said,
a way for me to use it for my own
mhm,
self care.
mhm,
People may know me as the happy go lucky person, and they don't know what I'm going through either because I don't really
mhm,
speak on a lot of stuff. But I will
mhm,
say this: although I don't have a mental health condition, I know
mhm,
what emotional trauma is about.
mhm,
Okay.
mhm,
So me being
mhm,
able to use like poetry
mhm,
as healing and creating stuff, this stuff I created this stuff just sitting around while everybody else talking on social media.
mhm.
It took me 20 minutes. This took me 20
Really?
minutes. Okay. 20
Really?
minutes. I found the images. I got the license because you have to get the license if you want to like publish more. Um, but it's a lot of stuff, and I do have some diva journals, but I don't have them in my face. So if Michelle wants
Okay.
that, or if she wants one of these books,
Yeah, because
just
she
give me
has a
her
young
information and let me know.
Yeah, because Michelle has a I think Michelle's destiny is, I think she's out of high school now. She may still be in high school, but she has a daughter. Yeah, but she would love that. Yeah.
So,
And she said
I
that.
will get her information from you or somehow, and then so I can
Yeah,
send her something at the end of this week, because I do appreciate
definitely.
them being here. And
Yes.
what's the point of creating something if you don't share it? I'm just saying. So
Exactly. And that's getting outside of, that's helping too with mental health, because nobody's perfect. We all have our, down days. And when we get outside of ourselves and create, then you feel better. So everybody, who's listening, address whatever mental health issues you're having. And if you're looking at the aftercast, be sure to, I'm going to put up this number if you having or know someone that's struggling with mental health issues or substance abuse. Is 1-800-662-4357. We all want to be healthy, and with the pandemic, what's going on, taking a toll on a lot of people. And so don't feel like you're alone though. Reach out
Mhm.
to somebody. So
Yeah,
yeah, so we just want to come before you. Thank you, Mocha Sister, for joining me. We're gonna do more of this. We're gonna do more reviews like Lovecraft. I know you was telling me
I
about
gotta go
that.
back to it. Let me tell you how heavy Lovecraft is. I stopped watching some of it. It is heavy, but
It's
it's
heavy.
important because it's like set in the 1950s, and it talks
Mhm.
about the Jim Crow era. We know what happened in the Jim Crow era, okay?
Okay, right.
And they're traveling, and there's all this crazy stuff that happens. And I could
Hmm.
see why Michael K really struggled through that. When I thought about like him transitioning, I thought about how much sacrifice these artists do for us,
Hmm.
and sometimes their mental health will just go. Oh, she's 20. Oh, wow. Go ahead.
Okay, the time flies,
Woo, girl. No, she ain't grown, but she's up there. Okay,
but
she's
she's
20.
up there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I have some diva.
Mm.
I got 20 prototypes, y'all. Just quiet as it kept. I've been creating them.
Okay.
I know I've been creating. So,
And
uh,
I like the color too.
yes,
But
girl.
now you were saying about Lovecraft that he was struggling with that
Yeah,
the
I don't know if you
character.
saw the video, but there was a video where Michael K was talking about how um, emotional it was for him, and they did like a video with six of
Mhm.
his co-actors. They were all
Mhm.
on like a Zoom call. And when
Mhm.
he was talking about his cast help him get through it, he broke down on the Zoom call. He was crying.
Oh.
And then another actress started crying. And then I had to stop watching it because I'm real sensitive too. And I was like, okay, I can't watch
Mm.
this. He was struggling with something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he lost his
And he
mom
suffered
too.
through his craft to give us the best acting, even
Mhm.
though his mental health issues had to be sacrificed in some way.
Yeah, see, people don't understand. People are struggling while they playing these characters. And one thing he said on the Breakfast Club, he said that he had to learn. This one guy asked him, he said, "Man, do you meditate?" He said, "You have to cleanse your mind," because he was becoming his character. He
You
said
have to.
he
And I read
enjoyed.
some stuff about that too
Yeah.
after I read
He,
the and saw it, because some other actress that I was reading an
Mhm.
article said you have to cleanse yourself. Like you literally, after each of these heavy
Mhm.
roles, you have to go somewhere, reset your spirit.
Mhm.
And, you know, I
Yeah, he
don't
said
want to
that
get spiritual, but I believe when, yeah, it's kind of like almost inviting the demons to be in your spirit for that time period. And then you got
oh,
to get that off of your skin. You got to get that out of your heart because you spent how many months doing this character to give us the best, and love them for that.
wow. I never thought of it that way.
I'll be out there sometimes, so I'm sorry, but I
Oh
think
yeah, you
about
write them scary books too. Oh, Pam has a scary book out, and she watches scary movies too. So I see your posts. So I
girl.
don't know how you watch stuff like that,
Yeah,
Chucky.
that book is about to be taken off of Amazon because I'm gonna create a whole book and it's gonna be in book form. So it's only gonna be on there for another month, honey. If you want to download it, you can. But after that, because
Okay.
I can't
But
keep it on Amazon. People be stealing your work, like you said.
right. But you
somebody
asked
put
about
my
the
old book.
characters.
Somebody put my
Right.
old book up there under my name, and I didn't post it.
Oh, okay. But
And
you was
it's crazy.
you were right though about the characters because Michael K said that um he enjoyed playing Omar and he became Omar. He said people will always call him Omar on the street and
That's
like in his
crazy.
mind that's why the guy asked him said, "Man, did you meditate?" And that's when he started meditating and to wash. He said he had to
You got to
wash
get that out of your
away.
spirit. To be
Yeah.
honest, like I would be
Yeah.
concerned because how many of these characters did I do in my career that
Mhm.
had these spirits? I think that's why sometimes people, I see actors and they go in a different direction. They go to Hallmark and
Mhm.
maybe they did those crazy movies back in at the beginning of their career and they want to get typecast,
Mhm.
or they only want to do Christian movies, or they only want to do love stories. I
Mhm.
see it. I see it.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
because like when I was
intentional. It's intentional. But when you got people pulling you and say, "Man, you get this money, get this cash," I don't
mhm.
know what his agent was saying to him. I don't.
And then too,
And
you
not
got
only
the
him, other people like him, like Robin Williams. You know,
right,
he passed away from suicide. Lord have
the
mercy.
yeah, the
You
men.
know, just other actors that unfortunately we lost before we thought we
Mhm.
should lose them. You know, not from natural, death or whatever. So
Yeah, because like for instance, comedians like Robin Williams, I think one of the comedians said that they feel like people think that they're supposed to be happy and giddy all the time. He's like, we're not clowns. Even though you're a comedian, when
right.
you come off stage, some of them are just like quiet. They're like introverts.
They
I know
are,
like
and
a
that's
nephew
because
who
they're human, and
right.
it's like turn it on for acting, and this is my gig. But when I go home, I want to turn it off because also if they got children, they got family members, they got partners, they want to come in there and be acting like Omar all the time, or going
Mhm.
going into
Right.
the community. People like, oh, because they're coming in all
Right.
strong. So
Like a big clown show or something. Yeah, they're human
everything ain't fun.
beings.
Everything ain't fun for these people because they're human beings. As I said earlier in the show, human
Mhm.
beings. They have a regular life. I've seen several celebrities since I've been on the East Coast, and I don't even bother them. If I see you walk down the street, I say, okay, he
Mhm.
look good, she look good, but I'm not gonna bother you because you in your regular time. You might be chopping up
Mhm.
and eating food at a restaurant. It's not up to me to be
Mhm.
interrupting you. I'm just saying.
Right. And Emma says he also sacrificed his life to protect a woman. That's how he got the scar all to his face.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah,
sad. Yeah, and on his
yeah.
25th birthday too. He had
Yeah, he
just
was
turned
young when
25.
that happened, and
Mm-hmm.
I commend
Yeah.
him for utilizing, saying, "Look, I'm not this scar, but if I'm gonna have this scar, I'm gonna use it to my advantage." You know, I'm gonna use it
Right.
to,
That's what he told me too when I because like I said I could feel people's spirit and stuff, which is why I don't do the videos right away because I be kind of like mesmerized that they talking to me in spirit. But when you're an imp like I am, and
yeah,
then
yeah,
when
yeah,
you have a pure, I don't want to say I'm pure, but I guess they feel safe enough to talk to me. He was like, I'm not my scar. And even the picture that I selected for our cover, I had to select the right picture
right,
because
yeah,
the scar was such a glaring thing, and that's the first thing people always start asking him, "How did you get your scar?" He didn't want that to be. That's why that picture he's turning to the right where you can't see. So that's
right,
the one I selected because he's not his scar, and I believe that the drugs and stuff, all of that was a cover up of the pain that he had.
right, yep. He had that pain, but he utilized his pain to entertain so many people. And also I feel like he used his talent to be a voice for the voiceless. Even him doing the interviews with the individuals doing the surviving techniques, he went to the dark side of himself. He also went to the dark side of the world and humanity to talk to people, to humanize them. Even though they're gun runners, he wanted to find out, hey, why are you doing this? He went to have a conversation with these individuals, because guess what? We pass a lot of people every day. And in society, we turn our noses up to these individuals and we
Yeah.
already know their story. No, we don't. We don't
No.
know how this person became homeless. I worked with homeless veterans for 5 years in New York, 2 years
Really?
inside of a homeless shelter. These stories I heard from these guys will tear you up. But guess what? They're human. They went through trauma, like Michael went through trauma, and they have the right to reset their clock.
Yep.
And for Michael, I just think people only saw the characters. They didn't see the advocate. They didn't see the gentleman that, you know, advocated for a woman and unfortunately got his face disfigured. Really,
It was. It
I
really
mean,
was.
they had to
Even though
go.
he's a beautiful man,
He's
if
a
you look,
beautiful man. Look at those
beautiful
white
black
teeth and
man,
look at that smile. Even
that
though
pretty
sometimes the eyes
melanin.
and the smile didn't always jive, but he was sharp. He was a sharp brother.
He was a sharp, very talented, very
And
talented. That's
he
why.
helped a lot of people out too. You can see the passion in his family members who spoke about him. And we never heard anything negative about Michael. I don't remember hearing anything negative
Mm-mm.
about him.
No.
Yes, he had his struggles, but he told his truth. And I'm glad he did, because they
Yeah.
can't rake him over the coals and say he was bad and he did this and he did that. He spoke his truth while he was struggling.
Amen. Amen.
So I
Man.
will say this, and this is just my own thing. When you have family members struggling, don't point your nose down to them. Don't
Hmm.
do that.
Exactly.
Support them through their mess. Because God or somebody else or the universe is going to bless the mess.
Yes.
Michael's mess turned into a blessing for others, for
For others.
entertainment, for us to have conversations about the stick up guy or in our neighborhood. So
Mm-hmm.
we all wish we had a stick up guy and say, hey, you gonna get them, but he not gonna shoot the regular person that's walking down
Robin
the street.
Hood.
He's gonna make sure the grandmother gets across the street. You know what I'm saying? I know, stick with me, y'all. You know I'm a writer, so I could see what he was doing with that character.
Yeah. Yes.
But
Mm.
I do think that in society we gotta do better how we treat each other and
Yeah.
listen to people. You may
Exactly.
not understand why they're in an addiction.
YouTubers out there, you listening to this, the aftercast after it's being played at 2 in the morning. You ain't got nothing to do, and you find a Rise Women Network, the mental health episode with Queen F and Mocha Sister. Please stop judging and getting on YouTube talking about people and tearing them down, especially on their deathbed, especially when they pass, like 50 Cent did, whatever beef they
You ain't
had.
trying to
I'm
promote
not,
your own
you
show though.
know,
You trying to promote your show, but at someone else's.
at the time they passed, so please let's stop it. We always talk about the oppressor and what the white man doing and the supreme. Now, you know what? Stop tearing each other down. Just stop.
Right. And
Okay, don't kick a man when he's down. There are people that are hurting. They're suffering from mental health, molestation, things that happened to them when they were young, and they're using the
it
drugs and
travels
the alcohol
forever. Just
to
because you got
cover it.
molested when you was 8 doesn't mean it just magically goes away.
Exactly, exactly. So this has been a really, really, I mean, I didn't expect the tear, you done brought tears to Michelle's eyes. Look at Michelle, and you done brought tears to my eyes too, girl. But you brought it home. Thank you, Mocha Sister.
You're
And
welcome.
Michelle says people just don't know behind the glitz and glamour. Thank you, Michelle. They just don't know the pain and the suffering that people are going through, the anguish. They can have $1 million in the bank and still be unhappy, and still be ready to hurt themselves. But so please, please get that 1-800 number here and pass it on. And we're gonna get on off of here. And thank you, Michelle.
Thanks,
and Emma
Michelle
for
and
joining
Emma.
us. We love you guys. We really do. And thank you. Share the video, like and share. Anybody that's looking at it. Thank you, Mocha Sister, for joining me. And thank you for the giveaway that you're going to
Yeah, the
give.
two giveaways, I'll just email you
Yeah.
after the show to get everybody's linked up to them so I can get their addresses and send out everything.
Awesome.
But
And
yeah,
yeah, and Michelle, be sure to subscribe to Mocha Sister. She's on YouTube. She has some very good videos too on vegan and eating and stuff, and her brown girl expressions. It's under Mocha Sister on YouTube. And thank you guys for joining us on the Rise Women Network. And be sure to share our video. And you be blessed.
bye everyone.
Bye.